Well, hello internets, here we are. We have ourselves a little bit of a evening update. Well, we're in Three Hills, Alberta here, just trying to decide what direction to go. I have about 2 hours until Wetaskiwin, or about an hour until Red Deer, and then I drive to Wetaskiwin in the morning. If I stay in Red Deer, it'll be in Walmart parking lot, and then I have to drive to Wetaskiwin for a short drive. However, then I've rested, and everything's fine. Well, as the crow flies, today would have been a short day. However, as we drove, I've put on about 530 kilometers. Zigzagging throughout the countryside, stopping here and there, shooting some videos, taking some pictures, a little bit of frustrations, but I'm feeling kind of tired, and I had planned to stay here in Three Hills. However, there's no room in their campsite, so the next thing is to roll on till Red Deer, I suppose. You know, that's one of the things about a truck and trailer. Obviously, if you're parked in a parking lot, you're camping in a truck and trailer. If you have yourself a nondescript panel van and you're parked in a parking lot, you could be just doing a delivery or stopped, right? So if I'm going to do much of this traveling, there may need to be a change in accommodations. However, I don't really see myself touring Alberta like this again, at least not for a while, and probably the next time I go, it'll be in a motorhome or something else. But gonna get going and rolling, see what's the what, and we'll see you at the other end. hello internets, here we are. A little bit of a late evening update. Well, just got to where I guess I'm going to be for the night about half hour ago. Just long enough to fire up the generator, clean up the trailer, cool it down a bit, and relax enough that I'm thinking about having something to eat. I still have half a loaf of bread and that ham in the fridge that I bought whenever it was, so I'm in no danger of not having food. Plus there is a couple pounds of bacon, a dozen eggs, some other things that are and some smokies that are frozen still that I could unthaw and cook. Today was a day of struggles, a day of roadblocks, a day of confusion and whatevers, right? You know, I think the last time I did a check-in I was in Three Hills at the A&W. Well, there was no room in Three Hills. And the only reason why I went over that corner per se was because of the Gopher Hole Museum in Torrington, and well, it was closed by the time I got over to that area. So then I go to Three Hills thinking I could stay at their campsite and maybe check out their town museum, and nope, we're all full. So I'm in the middle of nowhere. My gas gauge light is on, so what do? I fill up at their gas station and decide to head to Red Deer. I know I missed a few stops, but it is what it is. You know, parking lots, big signs up saying no overnight parking. I guess, what are you supposed to do, you know? A truck and an RV staying overnight is obviously overnight camping in some random parking lot somewhere. So I move on to Red Deer thinking I'll get a night or so at Walmart, and at their Walmart it says absolutely no overnight parking. This includes RVs, not excludes, includes. I double looked, should have took a picture, but Red Deer was insane. Busy people, traffic cutting you off, not giving you the lane. You know, my GPS was being a dick. It took me like a opposite directions from where Walmart was, and my phone GPS was giving me late turn information till it was impossible to get that lane to turn because of traffic. And I just fueled up once more in Red Deer and said, well, head to my final point of my journey, which is Wetaskiwin, because I'm gonna spend three nights in Wetaskiwin, check out the Reynolds Museum. There's an aviation museum and some other couple of things up there, and end the perfect journey with the perfect ending. You know, end my journey with the perfect ending of 3 nights in Wetaskiwin. Well, I wheel into one campground, and even though the campground was almost empty except for like 3 trailers, the campground attendant woman goes, "Nope, we have no room at all." And I go, "Not even for one night? Even though the campground is empty?" This is at like 6:30 in the evening. So you're telling me there's going to be 60 people come peeling in tonight to set up camp for the weekend, which is still 2 days away? So then I go over to the next campground. It's a lower budget campground, about $35 a night. And I pull in there, and it's a little more busier. And she tells me the same thing. It's like, what are these guys in cahoots or something? You know, so what am I supposed to do? I can't park in a parking lot. You know, at that point I was frustrated. At that point I'm to the point where I'm ready to fuel up and point her home. So I started to head home. I got about an hour and a half down the road, and I was really starting to feel tired. You know, my headache had increased. My mistakes were starting to become more obvious, and I needed to stop. And just about the time I was ready to needing to stop in Pop's Camrose. Well, currently I'm parked at the Camrose Walmart. No, there's no signs that say anything about overnight parking, so gonna stay here overnight, maybe, and see how it goes. Even if I did manage to force myself to drive the next 3.5 to 4 hours all the way home, because even though it says 3 hours to get to Lloydminster from Camrose, it always seems to take longer to actually physically go there than what the map says to go, or says it takes. So even if I did manage to make it to home in the next 3 hours, the storage place is closed by the time I get there. So I'll have no place to put the trailer until tomorrow morning when I can clean it out. So the common sense thing, I guess, is to stay a few hours here, whether I sleep or not, whether I just rest and then hit the road at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll be just in Lloyd, fueled up, tanks clean by the time that storage place opens, and then clean out the trailer, and then I'm home. I wish I could have seen the Gopher Hole Museum. I wish I could have seen the 3 or 4 stops in between Three Hills and Red Deer. I wish I could have seen the Reynolds Alberta Museum. Dad went there a few years ago, and he really enjoyed it, and this whole journey has been in memory of my dad, and yeah, it's been a little bit of a rough one, especially today. But guys, gonna end her all here. It is what it is. Things happened for a reason, and around we go. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.